Alright, so I'm doing a book review for Heavy by Kiese Laymon. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm in my son's room because this is just where I'm sitting right now. Oh well. And it's hair day as well. I'm also wearing my little House Lannister shirt. Got from Target. It was on clearance for like $5. And men's shirts fit me better. So here we are. My husband's like, why are you wearing that shirt? You know we're only House Stark around here. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? It was $5. It was on clearance. My bad. But Tyrion though. No matter. Anyway, so this, I actually have notes for this. I filmed this before, but it was just wrong. It made no sense. I was babbling, whatever. So I have notes for this time. It's a memoir by, I already said this, but by Kiese Laymon. Memoir. Alright, so in this memoir, it's pretty much the overall plot. Don't want to spend too much time on it. The overall plot is from his childhood to an adult. Like, I wouldn't say like present day, but something like present day. There are a couple of themes that run through here, namely, and I'm gonna have to keep looking at my little notes here. I got my little notebook, my little notes. I got like 2 pages of notes. But it's so much more than what I put on this paper. Like no matter. Also, this is the discussion. It's not a review or anything like that. Like, it's a discussion. So, of course, I'm going to go into detail about what's in the book, about, you know, whatever. So, if you haven't read it, maybe you shouldn't watch this. But if you did read it, this will be a good, like, whatever. This will be a good video for you. So, anyway. So, some of the themes in here, I have addiction, family is like a theme in here, and also like racism is like, it's not the main theme, but it's like the heaviest. I think that's like a good word for that. Anyway, so the theme for addiction, you know, he has on here, he was addicted to food, so he gained a lot of weight. Obviously with the title Heavy, he's talking about his weight. Like, his weight just fluctuated through his, pretty much like most of his life, you know. He was always like a big kid, lost a bunch of weight like as a young adult, then he got big again. So, you know, his weight kind of fluctuated, and he has issues obviously with food and things like that. So, addiction to food. Then later on, as he was losing a bunch of weight, addicted to exercise. And later on, when he fell off the exercising track because it got hurt, he became addicted to gambling. So, you know, those are some themes that run through, that's a theme that runs through there. Also with family, you know, blood is thicker than water. So, you know, even though his mom is asking him for thousands of dollars, you know, once a month or whatever, like, I mean, he's probably giving her, what, half his money, more than half his money, you know, for a certain amount of time, thinking it's going towards the electric bill or getting the fireplace fixed or plumbing, things like that, like the attic roof, whatever, not knowing that she has an addiction problem. Like, it doesn't even cross his mind to even think anything negative about his mom. Like, it's his mom. So, you know, when that finally comes up, you know, it's just kind of like not like a blow to the face, but he kind of still wants to help her. He kind of just wants to talk to her about it. I don't know. But that's like an issue, and his grandmother's always telling him, she has this saying, yeah, something ain't right in the milk, something ain't clean in the milk, or something like that. Like, it's really, and she just keeps saying about like various things, like, you know, open your eyes, like, stop being so blind to stuff, like things aren't right, like, look, Kai, things are not right. And so she's kind of like that. Also his uncle was, this kind of is family and addiction. Mom addicted to, it isn't like a spoiler because it's kind of not evident until the very end, that she's addicted to gambling. And his uncle was like addicted to drugs or something like that. I don't know what drugs. Could have been cocaine or something like that. Could have been the 80s or whatever, I don't know. But, or the early 90s, I don't know. I mean, it could have been anything, but he did die of an overdose, which it's later discovered in the book. But again, these are all like spoilers. So like, if you haven't read the book, I mean, please. Another theme, or rather one of the other themes I saw, and this is like the biggest one, racism. Like, racism is so, it's like when it comes up, it's heavy. Like, Z, everything. His topics are heavy. I get it. So not just him, his topics. See, this is just another thing. I didn't even write this down. I just like made the connection. Like there's so much to this book. So much. First I'm going to talk about like his styles. So this book is written in like it's a collection of essays. So there are 4 sections with 4 essays each. The first section is preceded by an essay titled Ben, B-E-E-N, and after the last section, the 4th section, there's one other essay titled Bend, B-E-N-D, and like his grandmother's like, oh, you know, I've been there, but he's like, bend or bend, like she's like, oh, you know what I meant, stop playing around, kind of thing. But anyway, having those 4 sections surrounded by those 2 essays is very, I think it's like kind of it's a type of like rhetoric, I guess. I don't really understand his rhetoric here, and it's very like unique, and I guess this is like his style, so it's pretty interesting. But like the first essay, Ben, he repeats like the phrase I wanted to. So like Ben, so he says a lot like, oh, I wanted to do this, I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, I want to do that. And then Bend is like, I will not do this, I will not do that, I will not. Anyway, I think that's very interesting to like start off with, I wanted to do this. So then in his collection of essays, this is what he did, and then to end it off with, I will not. So going forward, you know, it's, even though bend is like his grandmother's version of bend, it's still like a bend. Like if you're turning a corner, maybe turning over a new leaf, maybe, you know, it could have so many other meanings to it, which I thought, like thinking back on it, I thought it was kind of like, that was kind of cool, you know. Let's see. I loved that he kept the voice of like each stage. So like when it starts off when he's like 12 years old, not, aside from the first section starts off, I think it's like Boy Man or something. He's 12 years old, and it starts off like how, in his voice, and it's like 12-year-old voice, you know, like, oh, what do you think they're doing? Running a train. And he's like, oh yeah, okay. But really has no idea what that means. And when he's starting to figure it out, it doesn't give him a good feeling. But he doesn't explain what a train is. He doesn't really explicitly state what he sees and how it really makes him feel, because at 12 years old, he doesn't understand. He wouldn't know how to put those things into words. He wouldn't know exactly how to describe how he feels. And he doesn't even realize that he's eating based on his feelings. So I think he kept true to the voice. And then as a teenager just got older, went on to private school, and then like a private college or whatever. Like he's just full of this, like there's a title of an essay. There's an essay titled Gumption in here, and I feel like he was so full of gumption. Kept true to that voice, like, oh, you know, these are the things that's going on. Yeah, we're gonna say something, we're gonna do something, I'm gonna do something. Like, you know, I'm taking these classes, I'm learning, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's just so, not impulsive, but just like a go-getter. Like, you know, I'm gonna really make some noise. He's not stopping to like think and like plan and process and things like that. Like he just knows what he's seeing, and he knows that something needs to be done, and he's gonna do it. He's not even thinking of like consequences of things like that. Like he didn't care. It's not that he didn't care. Maybe it was put in the back of his mind because he was so focused on what he wanted to achieve. He didn't even consider that he'll be kicked out of school. Like, nobody thinks like that. And if that's even a threat, he's like, how are they gonna kick me out of school? Oh, you gonna kick me out of school because I forgot to bring back a library book? Oh, you think I stole a library book? Oh, okay. Like, it only then did it make it real. And the consequences of being kicked out from a school for theft, like, that's a big deal because nobody wants to touch him now. Like, he can't really transfer. He did eventually transfer, but still, like, that took a lot of work. So maybe if he had thought it through, he would have maybe foreseen some of these consequences. But, you know, as a teenager and a young adult, like, sometimes you don't really think. And then as an adult, sometimes I feel like he's kind of like angry a little bit. Like, you know, these are the things that's still happening. Like, you know, I'm writing about, almost like he went to this college, started writing about all this racism and stuff that was going on. And when he's profiled, like, I almost feel like he wants to say, do you know who I am? Do you know the things that I wrote? Like, is this a joke? But I guess I should probably explain that. I felt like when it came to his voice, it went from explaining, and this is kind of what I mean, like at 12, he kind of only talks about what he sees, not so much what he feels, not so much what he interprets, anything like that. It's just, this is what I see, this is it, this is what I know, you know, based on what I see. And then as he gets a little bit older, it's like, this is what I'm guessing. I'm guessing things are this way, so I have to react this way, you know. And as it gets even older, and now he's a grown man, you know, these are the things that I see it, I'm guessing at it, and now I know for sure. As a grown man now, he can really interpret and make more educated guesses, I guess, on what he's saying and what's really going on. And now he's got some life experience as well to back it up. This book is only 240 pages. Like, he packs so much in 240 simply written pages. Like, it's crazy. So like as you're reading through Laymon's life, you know, you can see him where he's starting to think, and, you know, the wheels are starting to turn, and, you know, he's getting his ideas and he's doing stuff and he's making moves or whatever. So does the reader. Like, the way that he writes, it's like you're thinking with him, like you're growing with him. I don't know if it's like strategic writing or if he did this on purpose. I don't even know, but I thought this is pretty good writing, like to make the reader feel like they're going through this. And, you know, I kind of wrote here at the end that, like, these characters, they're real people, but you kind of get like a little glimpse of, like, for me, there wasn't any one person that I liked more than the other. Like, everybody has their own battles or whatever. Like, Laymon's going through all the stuff that he's going through, and you don't really get to see the stuff that they're going through, because imagine, like, you're going through this book, his life, through Laymon's eyes, and just like on the sidelines, all these people that he come across, like, you know, his grandmother, his mother, these various girlfriends or whomever, his friends like Lathan, and, you know, everybody else, like from school and stuff, and like people coming and going, and like you don't know, like his mom, like he never talks about like how his mom felt, or how she felt growing up, or what her childhood was like, or why was she addicted to gambling and things like that. Like, you never asked Uncle Jimmy, like, why you doing these drugs? Like, what's going on? You know, are you seeking help? Whatever. Do you think you have a problem? Like, nothing, because those are their own battles. Like, right now we're focused on Laymon, so it's interesting to like wonder about these like various people, and some of the people who aren't even here anymore to tell us their story. In a way, that's a little sad, but, you know, the biggest takeaway is what is not written, like the different layers. So I would say I came up with 4 layers. There may be more. There could be some expansions here, there, whatever. So, and I have this written down because this, to me, like, I for some reason I had a hard time wrapping my brain around it. Like, at first, when I've only read this book once. I am gonna read through this again because I know that there's some stuff I can pick apart and really learn from here. And definitely as an African American, I think this is very important, like very, very important. It's so much more. It's so much more than what's written on the back of here. It talks about how he fearlessly explores what the weight of a lifetime of secrets, lies, and deception does to a black body, a black family, and a nation teetering on the brink of moral collapse. Like, nowhere on here does it mention like racism or things like that, and like that's a huge part of this book, and I feel like that's a huge takeaway.
So it's not really like see this done. Anyway, I'm gonna read this here today, so oh well. It's like,
I don't know, I'm gonna read this at some point in the future and really take this apart. Definitely reading like the first essay and the last essay first, or something to that effect. And he packs a lot in here. So anyway, the layers, right? So the first layer, I think, is from child, teen, young adult to a grown man. So he kind of talks about like his problems and his successes through all of those stages. You know, whether minor or major, whatever, like becoming a professor is kind of a big deal. The issues with being a child and like not recognizing that you have like this eating issue, that you're seeing a lot of things that at 12 years old you shouldn't even be thinking about. Like, I don't even know at what age it's even appropriate for, like, I don't know how to articulate this, but in my mind, at 12 years old, you should still be playing with toys and video games and just like chilling, you know, focusing on schooling and friends, not running trains, drinking, you know, being, you know, picked on, whatever. Like, but like, there are things in life that people go through at such young ages, and it's not like you can shield them from that. It's not like, but like you also can't really prepare them either. I don't know. Life is freaking hard. Anyway, so I thought like another level was like maybe the people around him. So we had his childhood friends, going to high school, and also his family. So like the things that he learned from them. So the things he learned as a child are things he saw happening around him. Like he didn't run a train on anybody or have a train ran on him, whatever, that's how you say it. You can form opinions and learn a lot of things from just observing. So, and I also felt like he did a lot of that as well, just a lot of observing and making connections and things like that. Another layer, which I consider like a third layer, is like would be like his lifestyle. So like he grew up poor. By the time he got to like college and stuff, he remained poor. He poor money management, going to the negative just to go to a dinner or something. And then with like addiction. So like he went from not having money to spending what little money he had to just blowing every dime that he made. So just really just gambling it away in like a very, very irresponsible way. Like you can gamble, but then there's just like gambling your rent money away and not being able to make it back. Like to me, that is like the scariest thing. But that's like the lifestyle. So that's like another layer. And it gets you thinking like, having destructive habits in your having people in your life that have destructive habits, things like that. Like, all of this plays a part. It's all part of your little environment. Then the fourth layer is like society around him. So being poor, everyone around him is poor. He lives on a poor part of Mississippi. Then going on to a white private college. That's what his friend Lathan calls it. I think it was Lathan, yeah. And then there was a Rodney King issue. So having that kind of, that happened, and he was so worked up about it because, his mother's like, oh, and this was on page 107. His mother's like, are you seeing what the white people aren't showing you? And he's like, yo, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of like, watching my back and watching what I gotta do and watching what I gotta say and whatever. Like I want white people to like, and white people aren't doing anything. They did all this stuff to black people and making black people feel so small and poor and keeping us down and always finding new ways of keeping us down. And yet I'm supposed to watch what I'm doing and what I'm saying, and I'm supposed to be on the lookout and like, no. And he's like, I want white people to pay. I want white people to like really understand like what they're doing, and I want there to be some consequences, which I don't really know what to say about that and how to feel about that. But that's like the more important part. Like, like that part, that page was like the heaviest in my mind. And also on top of that, he was accused when they pretty much told him that he was not like on the tenure track to becoming a tenured professor or whatever. He was pretty upset about that, and obviously it was like a race thing. And all of a sudden, like, those people on the committee are getting like threats and stuff and whatever, accused of being racist, whatever. The police tell him that they have a suspect and they suspect him as sending these letters, and he's like, what? Like, you think I got time to be? And it's almost like a slap in the face. Like, he spends all of his time trying to call other people out on their racism. So why is he being called out for being racist? And it, like, to me, it's just crazy. I don't know. And I feel like there's like a bigger picture than that, and just like then all of this, like the so many layers that I just mentioned. But this is obviously going on long enough, and I really wish, like, I wish I knew what other people thought. This is definitely an important book in our time. I mean, honestly, it would have been important if it was written 20 years ago. Like, it's probably going to be important 20 years from now. Like, things are not going to change. I don't think that You know, I don't think it's like, oh, we're getting better, we're totally improving, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, I think it's just like, it's the same shit over and over and over again. Like, it's like a toddler. You tell them, you know, stop, you know, stop throwing the paper in the air, and they're just gonna keep throwing the damn paper in the air. Like, you know, you give them a spanking for it, or you put them in timeout, or whatever it is that you do. Tomorrow they're gonna do the same shit. Like, it's the same stuff over and over again. Like, I think America is a toddler, but that's just me. Still young, much to learn. Anyway, so yeah, those are my thoughts so far. When I do a reread, I'll probably revisit this review, see if any of my thoughts have changed, any new theories or whatever. Theories. But anyway, I'm gonna end it on here. Everyone should totally read it.